platform as a service, we're talking about where you come along and say, I would like a database that auto-scales and has resilience built in, and you don't worry about how many instances or VMs or whatever it runs on. So it's more that it's stepping up that layer of consumption. Much like down here, you don't come and say, I want one disk. You come along and say, I would like a LUN, and I'm going to come to you in 2 weeks' time and say, I want that LUN to be twice the size or whatever.
Well, the reasons they are normally they're not around, the challenges that aren't technical, the challenges are around licensing arrangements coming out of happening. So that's, yeah, you're right, there's a reason to do that, because we don't want to spend ridiculous sums of money where we don't need to.
Yeah, and so this is why we're seeing the growth of this platform area. We call it, we have an open source project called Cloud Foundry to do this. But in essence, where the developers start talking to infrastructures. So next time you've got a new application you need to write for your business if you're in that kind of infrastructure, rather than someone turning up and saying, okay, we need to get the architectural team together, go through the agile architect ref and decide what servers we need and how big they're going to be and size and spec them, they would just turn up to this platform and say, we're going to need someone to run our stuff. And we're going to require some database as a service, some storage as a service, and then the ongoing management of that is done by IT or by an outsourced vendor. When they then come to consume more of it, they don't have to worry about how to scale their app, because that's done by the platform. Much like if I came here and wanted to spin up some more VMs on vCenter, I wouldn't have to start arguing about which bits of hardware I need to run it on. I should just be able to spin up more VMs. It's the responsibility of the person running this to be able to manage that.
I was just going to share an example that some of you might relate to. We have another reference customer at Oxford University. Their use case is that they have a lot of independent researchers. The central computing service is kind of in a free market. Researchers can use them if they see value in it. The challenge is that Oxford University is a very disparate organisation, and they can have thousands of researchers, all with a PC under their desk, all with a database, effectively anarchy, and a lot of risk and inconsistency in how they manage data. So from the user's perspective, they need to be able to store stuff and access data. From the college perspective, they need to be able to satisfy mandatory regulation that's put upon them because they're publicly funded. If you're doing research that's publicly funded, you're allowed to keep it confidential while you research, but once you publish, you have to share your data and people need to be able to verify it. So you've got this kind of dual challenge, if you like, that the researchers don't want to care about it, so they don't want to go to the public cloud, but they were quite happy to go through Oxford University Computing Services to manage a trusted cloud for them as the college brand. It turns out that they use a public cloud in a hybrid cloud model, and they deploy these databases which scale as they need to there, but they manage all of the data lifecycle, if you like. So from the user, he just requests something and asks for it. He knows that it's a trusted place that he's going. From the college's internal perspective, they've got this scalable resource that they can scale them down and only pay for what they use for. And effectively, they've improved their service, reduced their costs, but also, again, kind of counterintuitively, improved their regulatory control and made them less exposed to risk and reputation damage.
So, I'm just drawing up here the sort of three layers as we see it at VMware. At the top here, and moving back to front, is layer 3, which is the consumption piece we see. So that's where we see things like desktop virtualization, thin clients, browsers, ways of delivering data as a service to any device, anywhere, whether it's an iPad or whatever, whether you're consuming aggregated software as a service, whether we're doing our mobile phone virtualization, which we do on Android, shared data services, way to make data available everywhere, the Octopus project I mentioned earlier. That's all up here in the consumption layer as we see it. Down here is the platform as a service piece I'm talking about that's nascent as a marketplace. I think this year you'll hear more about it. This is where you'll hear about things such as databases and big data being consumed as a service, compute storage, scale and reliability all built in, so you come along and consume that. So I'm talking about our Cloud Foundry product, Google App Engine, Microsoft Azure, those are the kind of things we're talking about there. And then down here is classically what a lot of people seem to talk about as cloud or private cloud, when in fact it's just virtualization in the base element. It's what has been put on top of it in this layer that turns it into cloud. is infrastructure as a service. And so that's where you're taking existing infrastructure, you're turning it into massive shared pool resources and then placing a layer on top like vCloud Director, for example, which then allows you to come along and consume that in an Amazon kind of way. The challenge being that here, you still, when you consume, have to worry about the operating system, you still have to worry about patching, you still have to worry about every single thing. The only real difference is the fact that some of the stuff about managing the physical tin has gone away because you virtualized it. Up here is where you start to get some real benefits, and that's what's going to happen in the next 3 or 4 years in this business, as people start to realize they don't want to do this, they want to do this. Problem is, this bit up here is going to push all of this faster than I think most organizations can take it. And that's where we're talking to most organizations now, is they're coming to us literally going, how on earth do I meet this need? How do I evolve my infrastructure to meet this? And the challenge is they use the word infrastructure, so they're thinking what to start with. So how do I evolve, how I deliver services? So obviously you can probably guess that Rob and I can talk about this at great length. And we're more than happy to, if you want to come and grab us at any point during the thing, but we have actually run out of time because the man on the side of the back is waving at me violently. So if you want me to, if you want to come and have a chat now, I'm more than happy to. I think we've got some appointments to go to or whatever. But thank you very much.
My generation.